Hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas/holiday and you're feeling nice and relaxed. Today, we've got a very special episode with the chaps from the Oldham Tinkers, who have been around since 1965. They've had a very long career in the folk scene, done many interesting things. In today's episode, we're talking about their new album, Lancashire Grace, which I would highly recommend to everyone. It's one of my favourite albums of the year. We talk about their long history in the folk scene and many, many other things as well. It's a very, very interesting episode, and I hope that you will enjoy it. So, without further ado, the Oldham Tinkers. Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the Kicking Back podcast. Today I'm joined by the wonderful Oldham Tinkers. Hello, chaps.
Hello.
Hello.
Great to be here.
How are you guys doing? You okay?
Fine, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for coming in today.
You're welcome.
For the people at home that don't know who these chaps are, well, I've only recently discovered who you are, and that was through John Ellis, who came on a few weeks ago, and he told me about this lovely album, Lancashire Grace. And I went home and I listened to it, and it is genuinely one of my favourite albums that I've listened to this year.
That's good.
I've listened to it a lot. I've even bought it on Bandcamp, even though I've got a CD. So, you know.
It's nice of
Excellent.
you to
I
say
like
that.
it, chaps. I like it.
Good. Good.
So for the people at
Pleased.
home that might not have heard of you before, do you want to just tell them a little bit about who you are and what it is you do? I don't know who wants to take it.
Yeah, we can do that. John, you can help me out here, can't you? 'Cause
I'll try it.
Me and you were there at the start.
Yeah, a memory.
Round about
Memory is a problem.
1965, probably before 65's. My brother Larry, who died 2015, and myself wandered down to a folk club in Oldham on Waterloo Street, and John was singing there, and Larry.
Oh, just one point. Larry,
Yeah.
I was at school
I'm
with
just
Larry.
going to say that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I've just said it.
Yeah.
Started
So
already
we
bickering,
went.
you know.
We went. And Larry said, "Oh, it's John Howarth." I was at school with John Howarth.
Oh.
So we talked. He sang. We sang, and afterwards we said we'd get together, and we sang. We started singing. There's a lot of details here, but we were talking before your show,
Right.
and we were saying when did Dave come into this?
Yeah, I was wondering. that.
Because Dave used to do the mics for us.
But 1982, I
and
started doing sound for the lads.
Yeah,
Right, okay.
And I did it for a few months, and one day one of them couldn't make it. They was sick or something. Was it you, Larry, or Jerry, or Larry? I can't remember.
I think it was Larry. Yeah.
So I said, well, I play the mandolin, you know. So, oh, great. So if you would fancy joining us on the gig,
Right,
so I was
okay.
mixing with one hand and playing mandolin with the other. And then a few months later, I think Jerry couldn't make it. So I said, well, I play guitar. So
Right, okay.
oh, that's great. So slowly but surely, I kind of slid in and Larry slid out.
Yeah,
Didn't he?
that's
Over-
right. About perhaps 20 years before
yeah,
Larry died,
That's
he,
right.
he stopped playing with us.
yeah.
One reason or another, and Dave carried on,
Yeah.
and that's how we're together, really.
So I still do the sound quite a lot of the time,
He
so-
does, yeah,
Right, okay.
depending on where we are.
yeah. So that's the overall thing,
The gist.
without going into the details.
Yeah. So I was reading your bio before, and it says that you come from like some Irish backgrounds. Am I right in saying?
That's right. Yeah, my father was Irish. He was from Dublin.
Yeah,
I came over here when he was about 8 to Oldham.
yeah. My
John?
my mother's from from Ireland, from Clunline, Charlestown, County Mayo. She came over
right.
as a 17-year-old
Okay.
girl to a family who moved over here to England and stayed with her aunt before before she married. In fact, there's a story about this. My mother was called Colleran, Mary Colleran,
Right.
and her auntie, my great granny Cooney, always said to her, "Don't go to that church in Chadderton, because there's a priest there called Father Ty. Well, he a wonderful man he was, Father Ty. He became canon later on. Father Ty says, because if your mother, if Mary Colleran mixes up with Father Ty, they could never be married, because in the paper it would say married Colleran Ty." It's a true story.
Brilliant.
So she stayed with her aunt.
Right, she
That's
made the
when
right
she
decision.
came over from
Right.
Clunline, Charlestown, County Mayo.
Interesting.
And when we started singing, we sung a lot of Irish songs, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. In fact,
Yeah.
the night when you came into the Highfield and Park where I was singing, I was actually singing the Jolly Tinker.
Oh, right.
Great.
I couldn't remember. I didn't remember that.
So, I guess like coming from like an Irish family, that sort of thing was quite encouraged, isn't it? In that sort of Irish culture, there's quite a lot of singing and sort of in the family. Was it the same in your family?
Well, there was in our family, yeah.
Right.
My father
okay.
used to sing, John McCormick songs and this kind of thing.
Right.
Bits of opera. He had some voice training and so on. He
He
had a
used to-
good voice, my father.
Great.
And then he
'Cause
used to
came
come
on
along.
the gigs and he'd
Yeah,
always
he
get up and do a
would.
song.
Right.
He would sing.
Great.
give
What did
a
he do?
song.
The Old House, was it?
He used
Oh,
to do the Old
That's
House.
right,
Yeah, yeah,
It was lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely
Yeah.
moment.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So we'd have Christmas parties and his brothers would be there and they'd all give a song
Brilliant.
and that. Yeah.
Well, I've got Irish ancestry, but it's way back in the 1850s. Not
Oh,
far from
right,
where we
yeah.
are now. They were Scanlon. They came over probably about the time of the famine, married into Howard, which is my name. And they lived round about the Castlefield area. So
okay.
the Irish, all of us really. So.
There's a bit of it.
Surprising what you learn, isn't it? I never knew that.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
you
didn't
say
know.
Scanlon, yeah.
Right.
Don't know where they were from. But,
So, what would you chaps like describe your music as? If you were to put it in like a genre, because I couldn't quite place it. If I was to say something, I'd say like, in my own words, I'd say like northern folk or something. I could be wrong in that, but I don't
Well,
know.
that's what it's developed into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it's become. But at the time, I think we were mainly singing Irish songs.
Yeah.
When we're going back to 1965.
well, I
Right.
used to go and watch these guys in 1965 at the Manchester Sports Guild, which was just around near the cathedral. Very
yeah.
well-known folk club. It went away in about 1971. I think they pulled it down. But I remember sitting in the audience watching them. Here I am now. I've been with them for 40 years. It's
Right.
strange, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we moved. We didn't just sing Irish songs. We would sing a mixture.
that's
And
right.
then we met somebody called Harry Boorman.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And we did a few Lancashire songs at the time. And he used to encourage us to do more.
Right.
He said
okay.
you should do those.
Yeah.
Those are good. Because he was all for Lancashire folk music. It was the revival then, the folk revival.
Mm.
So that was our. We just used to sing in pubs, so we had to sing whatever people liked.
Right. Okay.
And when we started singing at first in the Waterloo in '65, Larry went to France for a year, didn't he?
That's true,
Me
because
and you sang, and the fella said, "You're driving them out. You're driving these people out," which we were aware of. But then a new clientele came in, and eventually we were packing them with people who like folk
Well, the folk
music.
revival
right.
kicked
Yeah.
off in 1965.
Yeah.
It was really climbing
Yeah.
up. Very popular.
And then we sang more and more Lancashire stuff. So that is almost the other end of the scale. So that CD now is Lancashire music, but with some Irish influence there. I mean, we've used the tunes, Mountains and More, and then the background for another of the song, John's poems is the Garden where the Praties Grow Up.
Yeah.
Annie Kenny, I wrote the tune I wrote the words to Annie Kenny, but the tune is a mixture. The the verse is based on a Scottish song.
Right. Okay.
Bonnie
Oh,
Lassie.
Bonnie Lassie,
or-
that's
yeah,
right. Yes,
yeah.
of course, yeah.
And the Irish have used that. We used to sing a song called the Shan Van Vocht.
Mhm.
Oh, the French are on the sea, said the Shan Van Vocht.
Ah,
Shan Van Vocht was a little old woman. It was,
Right.
it meant island. I think it was
Mm.
allegorical. And I've forgotten what I'm talking about now. And so it's Lancashire,
Yeah.
and it's there's some Irish influence. But I know that our songs appeal outside the folk music world. People who like Oldham and Lancashire.
Well,
Then-
John Peel used to love you, didn't he? Long
He
before I
did.
came with
He
you.
did.
But, he played on Radio 1, John
Yeah.
Peel.
Yeah.
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 So it does. The songs appeal
Mm.
to a wider audience. But I mean, we've grown up in the folk music world, haven't we?
Yeah, but when we talked about singing in the pubs, we didn't know at the time about the folk clubs as such, because there weren't allowed to be clubs in Oldham. They had a law.
Well, there was a law, a bylaw, wasn't
You
there?
weren't
Yeah.
allowed to
have
pass
a
money
folk club.
over or to take money
Oh.
as an entrance fee in a pub. So we were just pub singers, really.
That's right. Yeah, there's never any charge.
Oh, right.
So,
Interesting.
But we
anybody
used to
came in-
run it as a club, because an audience, and
Would
if
turn
people
up
wanted to sing in the audience,
Right.
we would invite them up on stage and to sing.
Right. Okay.
But
and the landlord would pay us some money.
I was going to
Well,
say,
yeah.
I hope you got paid something
Oh,
for,
yeah, we
for
did.
doing
it was
yeah.
yes, but we were pub singers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I was going to ask, about like how do you decide, like in terms of like you were talking about like piecing together bits of things to like make tunes and what have you. Do you like where do you like look for like inspiration or like older tunes and things like that? Where like how do you sort of piece together like what you're going to perform? I guess.
That's difficult. Sometimes there's a theme that you want to see. Larry used to write most of the songs.
Oh right.
And I
okay.
used to write the tunes. That was easy.
Lennon and McCartney.
And then
Yeah.
Larry died, and Larry wasn't writing, and so I had to.
But he used to
attempt
write.
to write.
He used to write on things that had occurred, on occurrences,
Right, okay.
such as if we had a job in the Lake District,
Right. Yeah.
the theatre in the forest. We actually were put up overnight with the local deer stalker, and he in fact.
Well, the first time we went up, they said you could sleep here in
Yeah,
the theatre,
That's right.
and we finished up sleeping on the stage. We didn't sleep very well. So the next year, that's right, we were put up with a gamekeeper, and Larry met the gamekeeper. He was telling him, as I mentioned earlier, that he'd taken his ferret to a do. So Larry wrote a song about it, but Larry wrote a series of songs all with John Willy themes. John Willy's ferret,
Right.
That
Okay.
comes from George Formby.
John Willy's
doesn't it?
horse. Yeah,
George
which comes
Formby, yeah.
from George Formby
Right,
and
right.
George Formby Senior. So there's a tradition of John Willy songs.
Okay.
Larry carried it on.
Right. I see.
I've done one about a camel, but it wasn't. It didn't pass
You
this
should have
CD.
got on the CD. It's a
No, it
classic.
needs doing again. We need to do it faster.
If we've
Yeah.
got time, if we've got
Yeah.
time.
So sometimes I'm always interested listening to people who compose, and I was you're interested. What comes first? How have you
Yeah.
done it? What inspired you? So I remember the lads in ABBA, one of them writes particularly, doesn't he?
Mm.
And he always said, "Oh, it's the tune, definitely with me. The tune
Right.
comes first,
Yeah.
and then I'll put any words in, and then obviously the words of the song." And I don't write like that
No.
because I was used to Larry writing a poem,
Mm.
and once I got the meter of this poem, I could then decide to write. So, like with John Willy's ferret, that if there's an obvious tune in your head, and we did a lot of, there's lots of folk music in our heads because we've got years and years and years of it. And when Larry said, "I was there, so were you," that to me was what we learnt at school. Sur le pont d'Avignon, sur le pont d'Avignon, on y danse, sur le... And that was, so I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar on the camp.
Right.
And then you have to have a verse to contrast that. So that's in a major key, so it's a minor key. You slip da 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 da. You know, and that was just from my head. But I mean, thinking about it now, it sounds a bit French, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Right.
It does, yeah. It does
And I've not realised that.
Yeah.
So the link there is probably in my head as something French. Sur le pont d'Avignon.
Edith Piaf, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't think she sung that one.
No, she didn't.
It's too late anyway. So, yeah, it's difficult to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for every tune, isn't it?
Yeah, but the themes have to leap out at you, don't they? Like Annie Kenny. I'd heard about Annie Kenny, and we all had. Didn't know a great deal about her, and then there's a mill. I passed it this morning at Lees Brook, and there's a plaque on the wall. Annie Kenny worked here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Once I'd read that, and I was nearby. And then they were putting a statue up in Oldham. Let's get the date right. 2018, John went.
Yeah.
And we went, didn't we, John?
Yeah, a lot.
And
big crowd.
Yeah, a good crowd. Really cold. Like today. Just like today. Yeah. Really, really cold.
Right, yeah.
And bright.
Maxine P was unveiled.
Yeah.
Maxine P unveiled the statue.
Yeah.
The statue is by... it's in here. It's on this piece of paper. Denise Dutton.
Denise Dutton
created the statue.
James, could we pull up the statue? Annie Kelly statue in Oldham. Kenny.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's all right. No, it's all right.
Annie Kenny
with the name.
statue in Oldham. Quite like to have a look at that.
Yeah.
Denise Dutton.
So you guys performed? Did you perform the Annie Kenny tune at the?
No, we just turned up, and I'd just almost within days written this song.
Right. Okay.
And but we stood on the down all steps with her, John.
That's right.
Great.
I've seen that statue. I've walked past that before. I didn't realise
in Oldham?
Yeah,
it's a lovely statue.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Terrific.
And the old town hall. Look at it.
The old town hall, magnificent building.
Right.
In Oldham.
Yeah.
And her, I think it was a great granddaughter or great granddaughter was there, and were we introduced to her?
Yes, the chap from Oldham Community Radio.
Right, and he happened to be there. There's nothing planned. We just rolled up on the day to see the spectacle, you know, because it was such a big thing. And I when I read about it in the Oldham paper, I thought we must join in here. Nobody's written a song. We could do something. So I wrote the song.
Right. Okay.
That again is partly my tune and partly traditional, you know.
Right, okay.
I think I'm repeating myself, aren't I?
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, the album came out, when did it come out? It was...
last year.
Was
In
it last
fact,
year?
we've been... I'll take up the thing. I actually recorded most of it in my little studio.
Oh,
in
did
Salford.
you?
No, it was in Bury Hotel. I used to live quite close to it. But over the years, I mean, I've worked in sound most of my life at the BBC and doing stuff. So I'm quite at home sitting here. And I said to the lads, "There's no point paying anyone to record. I'll do it for you. I've got all the gear." So we sat down in a room not unlike this. We put the tracks down. We put some down about 5 years ago, and some more down about 3 years ago, and a few more a bit closer to the time. And they sat kind of not quite, you know, there was no decision what to do with them.
Right.
Yeah.
And eventually John Ellis got across it, and he said, "Well, I can put them out on my label." So that's in fact what's happened. But
I see.
Yeah. But I did the actual recording.
You did.
So,
So how do you guys know John Ellis? Have you?
Yes, I knew John Ellis because he'd recorded some material along with Bill Leader.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, okay.
Produced
Right.
some stuff of a folk session I used to do, like a pub session
Right.
at the Oddfellows Arms in Middleton. There were some marvellous people in the group. In fact, we went over to Ireland.
Yeah, to my
and recorded some stuff with Dave because he'd lived in Ireland.
Yeah, I moved over there in the studio in County Kilkenny, right deep in the country, and the whole lot of them came over for a week. We had a great time.
Oh, sounds delightful.
We just sat around in a room not unlike this. I said, just pretend you're in the pub, and I mic'd everybody up.
Yeah.
And we put it all down. We got two. Well, we did one album. Then a year later, the same people came across and did another one.
Yeah, and that with a group of lads, and they who used to do Kayleys.
No, that's right.
Okay.
Called the Leg Platters.
Right.
And so it was Leg Platters and Friends.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
A crowd of us,
yeah.
And then it took over to John Ellis. John Ellis recorded the session.
Right, okay.
He did a separate one, didn't he?
He did
one actually in the pub, didn't he? I think, whereas I did it in the studio.
He did one in the studio and he did one.
Oh, did he? Right, yeah.
In the pub, yeah.
So, yeah.
That is that's something I really love about this album is the live element of it.
Yeah,
do you know
we
what
did
I mean?
it pretty well live. The only thing we didn't do, because I'm actually twiddling the knobs, I said to these two guys, I said, well, you go and do your bit.
Yeah.
And then you go off and I'll put my mandolin on and then he fits the vocal later.
Yeah.
Which you can do on a multi-track, obviously.
Yeah.
And it didn't spoil the kind of immediacy of it, but it made it technically easier for me to do. And the result was pretty good. So
I think it sounds great.
It's essentially live, you know.
Yeah. There's something very raw about it that I was instantly attracted to. Yeah.
The title, A Lancashire Grace, that was John suggested that, didn't you?
Mm.
But of course, he does this poem which was written by R.B. Kershaw, dialect poet from Rochdale.
Okay.
And he sounds more like R.B. Kershaw than R.B. Kershaw. It does. It just sounds like it.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful man, R.B. MBE, R.B. Kershaw. And in our early days, we used to do concerts with him and
his wife. Murray.
Yeah, and Harry Boardman.
Right.
In fact, we had do a concert called
Lancashire Sings
Lancashire Sings Again, which we did at the Manchester Library Theatre
and with Moston
Millbrook Clog Dancers.
Yeah.
Clog dancers, as in literally clogs.
Yeah.
Doing the dance.
They were young lads, weren't they? They were all very young.
Oh, okay.
That's still, I think
they didn't dance to instrumentation. The leader of them used to do a diddly dum. That was
the tune he used, actually.
Get clogging.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, John, have you always written bits of poetry and stuff then?
No, the only thing I've ever written is a piece called Oldham Edge.
Okay.
Which in 19...
Well, you live on Oldham Edge, don't you?
I live on Oldham Edge. 1970, Topic Records did a follow-up to an earlier album that we recorded with them, which was Deep Lancashire.
Right.
They did another album called Oldham Edge. So it went on there.
Right, okay.
It was on that album. But that was a mixture of other artists. Deep Lancashire, which we did in 1968 with Harry Boardman. Harvey Kershaw was on it.
Right.
Mary Kershaw, his wife. Mike Harding was on it.
Bernard Wrigley, was he on it?
No.
Oh, he wasn't.
He was on Oldham Edge.
Oh, that's right.
But
Lee Nicholson.
Yeah.
Lee Nicholson, yeah.
And one or two others with the names of can't remember.
Pete Smith.
Pete Smith.
Oh, Pete Smith, yeah.
So for people that, because obviously I'm quite, like, this sounds very new to me
Yes.
because I haven't explored this world.
You're too young.
I'm too young. I'm a young, foolish man, you know.
Well, you'll grow into it.
We'll get there, you know. But like, if I was to ask you guys, what are the artists or albums, or if I was to say, like, let's do a deep dive into this world, what would be the ones that you would pick up and say, okay, I go and have a listen to this person or this person? Is there any that sort of stick out to you guys? I'm asking this for myself, so I can.
Well, I suppose Harry Boardman put out records, didn't he? He introduced us. He did he sang with.
Well, we were
before we did. I mean, he did a thing with the Watersons, didn't he? He did the record he did before. He did that with us was with the Watersons. So
right.
That's and there is what's he called now? We're into what's he called, aren't we? Who does Harry's stuff?
Oh, the club.
Mark
Dowdy.
Mark Dowdy.
Mark Dowdy.
Good lad.
He's terrific.
He's good. He's a lovely voice.
Good lad.
Yeah, he does all Harry's
he does
stuff,
some of our stuff as well. But
How do you spell Dowdy?
Dowding. Dowding.
He's good.
Okay.
In fact, he's even got one of Harry's banjos.
Has it? Yeah. Because he used to sing at Harry's club for ages.
Right.
And
Okay.
he's much younger than we are. I don't
Right.
know how old he is, but he's younger than us. You know, you look like a presenter, doesn't it? Look like a presenter, don't you think so?
I'm in my element.
He's always wanted
I'm
to
in
be
my
a
element here. This is great. Be on Desert Island Discs. That's what we should be doing.
Oh.
A folk Desert Island Disc. I've always wanted to do that.
Well, if you let's do that. Honestly, let's do that if you want to do that. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, in fact, one of our records was played on Desert Island Discs.
Well, it's been going years and
it sounds
years
like
and
50
years.
What?
It's hardly
The record?
It's hardly one.
Yeah, what's
Well,
not bad?
Well, they're only allowed. What are they? How many?
Oh no, but I mean, over the years, thousands of people have been on there.
I know.
Of all their
Exactly.
It was Colin Welland.
Colin Welland,
that's it,
the
yeah.
playwright.
Colin, right? Okay,
Yeah.
interesting.
He selected as one of his items Peter Lou.
We did music
yeah.
for his plays.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I don't know where we met him.
He came to the Oldham Hotel,
Yeah, but how did we
He
met him
came-
before then? hadn't we?
and he was a friend of.
Somebody
who-
came to the Oldham Hotel.
Yes, you did some work for him. Who lived in Saddleworth?
Henry Livins.
Henry Livins.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Right.
So if we were to do a Desert Island Discs between the three of you, let's say 5 discs, 5 albums, what would you throw in there?
Oh, that was all a personal
No,
selection.
your
Personal
influences,
selection,
like
yeah.
influences,
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose I've got a fairly wide musical taste. I like pop music generally, you know.
Yeah.
Eagles, people like that. Beatles, obviously, but bluegrass. I'm very much into bluegrass. Partly,
Okay.
American. I suppose it's American folk music, you'd call it.
Yeah.
Partly because the harmonies are brilliant. The words are a bit stupid usually, but the harmonies are always fantastic. The playing is always immaculately good.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I play mandolin. I'm watching these guys, Americans play mandolin. I think I cannot do that at all. So I like a lot of that. I like a lot of modern folk singers.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a particular? I'm asking for me. Give me an album, one that you would throw out.
Nickel Creek, they're a fantastic American group. I can't remember. I think it was their first album. Nickel
Okay.
Creek, they're fabulous. Yeah.
This is my favourite thing about doing the podcast.
Oh,
Is
is
I
it?
get to just pick people's brains and be
sure.
like, what? Because I always find the music that you enjoy the most is like personal recommendation. Hence, John Ellis recommended this to me. So I like picking people's brains about these things. What about you two, chats? Is there
I'd pick a Dylan. I'd pick
Dylan.
a freewheeling,
Yeah.
freewheeling Bob Dylan.
I've just listened to that album for the first time, like last week.
Never.
I know. And he's one of these artists that I've been meaning to come around to. I loved it. I thought it was
a freewheeling Bob Dylan.
Great album.
Or who else? Ry Cooder.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that?
Early Ry Cooder.
How do you spell Rykuda?
Or Y.
Yes.
That's Ryland. Did you know that? His name's Ryland.
Or Y.
Ryland
Cooder. C.
Cooder.
Yeah, he's exactly the same age as me within a couple of weeks.
Rykuda.
Oh,
Now
he plays a lot of slide guitar.
Wonderful stuff.
Yeah, he arranged all those Cuban,
old
Cuban people, older Cuban people,
Right.
to come together, and he did a
Buena Vista
record
Social
called Buena
Club.
Vista Social Club.
Oh, it's
That is
right.
a marvellous record. That's a favourite of mine.
It's
That.
worth looking at.
Of course it is.
So I would
Wonderful.
go for that one. But being as we're in Salford,
Yes. Have you got any local?
well, I have in a way, and when we were at school, I went to school up the road, and a guitarist used to come every year in November
Right.
called Pepe Martinez, and he's a flamenco guitarist. Now, I don't know whether you'd get his music now, but I have a CD at home
Right.
of, and it was recorded for me by Pete,
Ryder?
Matt-
No.
not Martin,
Pete Martin.
Pete Martin,
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be
There
Pete
is a
Martin.
Pete Martin.
who played when we did that job.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pete
Yeah,
Martin.
yeah.
Pete Martin
Because-
recorded it. did
Yes.
he? Right. Okay.
Yeah, and he is a singer himself.
Right.
And he went to the same school, so he knew I was interested in this. We used to go and listen to this fella. It's threepence, the old pence piece, the threepenny bit in those days.
Before your time.
Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
get lost
No.
here, chap.
Yeah.
So what's a
Polygonal
threepence?
What's a threepence?
Literally.
Yeah,
What is a threepence?
three old pence,
Have you-
old pence, not new pence.
Right. Okay.
Can't remember what
We're
it
into new pence now. This was the old pence.
right. Okay.
was.
but it was a
12 pence in a
1971.
shilling.
There was a threepenny bit. It was
Threepenny bit,
it wasn't round. It was polygonal.
Yeah, polygonal.
Okay.
Is that the correct
bronze,
word? Yeah,
isn't it?
but yeah.
I'm completely lost
Anyway,
here,
that's
chaps.
how much it cost him
Right, okay.
going off the point here.
I think you should grow up.
What was to say? So he used to come, and I think he was bored. Somebody looked after him
Right. Okay.
in Eccles round here,
Mm.
and he used to come to our school. Used to go to Manchester University, and he always used to go on the local television program, which used to be called Look North
Look
in
North,
those
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And he used to appear on those three things
Okay.
every year. He was marvellous.
James, could you pull that up? Pepe Martinez.
Yeah.
What would he put in flamenco?
Flamenco.
Is that where you got
guitarist.
into flamencos? But I mean,
Well,
Jerry's,
no,
Jerry's
there's a threatening bit.
Oh, that's
Oh,
a
that's
threatening
it.
bit.
Threatening bit.
Is it a threatening
Right.
bit, or is it?
No, that's a threatening bit. Yeah.
So what is right?
The
Because
coin on it.
I don't know. What is that like equivalent? So how is it like?
Three.
That 2p or something. Not much.
Yeah,
not
I don't know
much.
It
anymore.
would have been about a new, the penny,
Yes.
It would have been about that
Yeah.
price,
Okay. Right.
because all the values changed.
When did it
74.
change?
It's about 74.
71. I thought it was 74. Early 70s.
No, you're right.
The 71.
I
thought
can
it was
remember the
71,
night it changed, and I wasn't married then.
Into your pocket.
Because I went down in the pub.
Speaking of old
called
Spence,
to see Catherine. She was my girlfriend at
Yeah.
the time. I'm married to her now.
Yeah.
And it was the night it changed. I remember it so well going in this pub. And
Oh, I thought
she,
it was-
the landlady didn't know how
It's
much
like the
it
end
was
of the
worth.
world,
I
you
didn't
know.
know how much
Oh,
it
my
was
God.
worth.
What are you gonna do, you know?
Oh, so. And so you're right. It was
because-
1971.
yeah,
Where
because
did
the
you drag that out?
So
to?
much was
just
a
about-
pint?
Because
Remembered.
the pint. I mean,
Pint.
the pound was still the same. It was just the
Yeah, the
bits,
pound
the bits
stayed
of
the
the pound.
same.
You know.
So
So instead of being 10 bob, it was 10 shillings. It was 50
Yeah.
pence.
Yeah.
sounds,
So
sounds
there's
bizarre when you
the
talk
2
about
shilling
it.
went. The
Oh, there
threatening
you
bit.
Oh,
The sixpence. No.
oh, no,
Is
I
that
know.
him?
No.
That's
No,
not
it was,
him.
it was a
Oh, no,
flamenco guitarist.
No, that's wrong.
This is just a
I don't
different.
think
This is a
perhaps he
different
was
Pepe.
famous enough.
Pepe.
Yeah, there are lots of Peppers in.
Just go, Jez.
Because
Just
it
give
means
us.
Joseph, doesn't it? in,
Give us just like a
Spanish.
Google image
Sure.
search and let's see if we can pull him up. So he only did that one You've only just got that one album. Of him. Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, Gerry's style is very much flamenco, isn't it? The way you play.
Well, I am. That's him
on the right.
On the right at the top.
Right,
the grey.
Because I always used to think he used to look like an ice cream.
Oh, he doesn't. Yeah.
Is that
seller.
him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the.
Not him next to it.
No,
It was
the
the black and white
one with the ball.
The bald.
Am I allowed to say that these
Yeah,
days?
you
The
baldy.
head.
Great.
Follically
Black and white.
challenged.
That one.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
That's
the
him.
man.
That's
The
it.
lyrical guitarist was called.
Right. Okay.
Fantastic.
You learn something.
Yeah.
Do you know something, Gerry? I think there might be a connection here. My wife Helen,
Yeah.
who she played guitar when I met her in 1969,
Did she?
and she played a Spanish guitar.
Right.
And apparently she got it from Pepe Martin.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Because I think he'd bring a few
Yeah.
guitars in when he came in to
Yeah.
Spain, and people would buy them. You know?
Right.
And she's got
Yeah.
so
Right.
small
It's a
world.
small
you say.
world.
Yeah.
I bet you never knew that.
No, I didn't know that. Yeah.
It's long gone, but
Yeah, she's in Spain at
It's
the
in
moment.
Spain, yeah, my
All
wife,
these
yeah.
are
So,
coincidences,
hello,
aren't there? And we happen to be near, right near the school, which is just
Right.
up the road on Weast Lane.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, chaps. Obviously, I'm just a young whippersnapper. What do I know?
Absolutely.
But you guys have been in and around Manchester for, well, a while.
100 years.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think? Like, obviously, it's changed a lot. Like, what things have you seen change? And things that are, what things do you miss that have changed?
It's a great city, Manchester. I went to live in Ireland for about 15 years. We just on a whim, really. I got early retirement and went to live in Southern Ireland. And when I came back, all of a sudden, this fantastic city, Manchester, and it really is an amazing place. You could come on your holidays here. There's so much to see. The tram system, the museums, everything. It's just a great city. And my wife is from Bolton and Burnley area,
right?
So she doesn't like to go into Manchester. But I said, you've got to. Manchester's brilliant. Oh no, she won't go in. Whereas you guys are from Oldham, really.
Yeah.
Oldham, yeah. So.
Yeah,
We've
it's
lost
funny,
all
really.
our theatres.
I mean, we went to school in Salford, but we didn't know a lot about.
No.
Well, I didn't know much about Salford. I didn't even realise, even though I was up the road, I didn't realise the docks were here.
Oh yeah, it's technically
I
Salford.
know there are lots of
it's called
seagulls
Manchester Docks.
on the playground, but I didn't know why. I never connected the two. Of course we came by train, so it was and then the bus. So you didn't really deviate from those
when you were
routes.
a kid, you weren't bothered.
So we didn't. And in fact, I thought Salford was really posh.
Oh,
coming from Oldham.
Right,
But it was the route we took past Salford Cathedral and Pendleton and then Bewell Park.
Yeah, that's around the Crescent.
Wow, it's,
yeah, it was
really
but
classy.
My lot were brought up in Ordsall, which is only about half a mile from where we are now.
Right,
right through the early teens and 20s. So, but I never lived there, but they were from that area. So.
Yeah.
But it wasn't posh there at all. I think they all worked on the docks, and it's near the docks, which is near the quays. Salford Quays, obviously.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I've only been here. I mean, I was born here, and I moved away and came back. I've only been here like 9 years, and it's changed a lot in those 9 years. I do worry about losing some of the character of like the older buildings and stuff. There's a lot of it's been like knocked down, and some of the modern things, which are nice, but I do hope it doesn't become. I'm worried that in like 20 years it's going to become like London or something. It's just going to be like this metropolis city, which I hope it doesn't lose some of that character.
Well, Oldham itself, all I'm from Oldham really, the theatres. We had 2 or 3 theatres in Oldham.
Right.
Lots of cinemas.
Yeah.
I mean, even when I went to school, my secondary school was in Ashton.
Right.
I was very fortunate there. We had a woodwork teacher called Harry Plank. And he actually...
is that a joke or is that...
Well, that's real? What everybody called it. But he taught me the rudiments of playing a banjo.
Oh, okay.
And he formed a group. There were about 5 of us called the Gamblers.
Okay.
And we were singing skiffle, I suppose, at the time. and he actually got us a job. There was a television program at the time called 6-5 Special.
Oh God, yeah, Pete Murray. Yeah.
Pete Murray,
Josephine
6-5
Douglas.
Special,
Right.
and he went out on as a road show in theatres all over the country. And in Oldham, it came to Oldham, and there was top of the bill was Willy Harris.
Oh God, yeah.
And the Morse brothers.
Mickey Morse.
Mickey Morse. Right, Mickey Morse was one of the most.
Yes. Famous producer.
Tony Crombie and the Rockets was the band.
Where did you perform it?
At the Oldham Empire.
At the Empire. But all the theatres
Empire.
and all the every cinema in Oldham
began
with T. Thordian, ABC, Empire.
Yeah.
Fell for that one.
Anyway, so we went in this competition. Yeah.
Right.
As the gamblers. There we go.
Did you do well in the competition?
No, not really. Singing a Lonnie Donegan song. So there was a big influence.
Oh, you met Lonnie, didn't you? Years later.
Yeah.
You're a hero.
He was a big influence in our music, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We all liked Lonnie Donegan.
Lonnie.
Yeah.
Lonnie
Donegan.
Oh,
Skipper.
right.
The Rock Island Line.
Yeah.
Okay.
My Old Man's a Dustman. What were some of his... That was a...
Does your tune going to lose its flavour?
No, what the other one? He sung quite a few American
of course he did.
things.
Come on,
John,
Cooley Down. The big
Grand Cooley Down.
That's right.
Yeah, it was about it.
The Rock Island Line.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And he was Irish influenced as
Donegan,
well.
yeah.
But
Lonnie. I think he got his name Lonnie from an American blues singer. He kind of changed it. I can't remember. Was it Peter Donegan?
He was Scottish. His
son's Peter, that's right, yeah. His son's still knocking about.
What's the son called?
I think it's Peter Donegan.
Peter Donegan, right.
Okay. He does most of his dance stuff. I saw him do a set at Cambridge Folk Festival a few years ago.
Right.
And it's just watching Lonnie. It was just all the same stuff. You know?
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Right, chaps. I think it's time that we have some of your music. So the chaps before came and played a delightful set of music. 3 songs from the album and then an older one, wasn't it? We'll chat about what songs we did afterwards. But I hope you enjoy the Oldham Tinkers performance, and we'll be back in a little bit to talk about the album, the performance, and probably many other things as well. So we'll see you all in a second. Goodbye.
We're going to sing about 4 songs, and the first 3 are from our latest CD, and it's called Remember Annie Kenny. And the story of Annie Kenny is in the song.
You remember Annie Kenny, an Oldham lass who worked in the mill from the age of 10, and went on to fight for women's rights, demanding votes for women and free all women from control of men.
She was born in 1879 near Oldham, walked up mill from Springhead, Saddleworth when 10. Half-time work was hard enough, full-time 12-hour shift was tough, up at 5 the following day for work again.
You remember Annie Kenny, an Oldham lass who worked in the mill from the age of 10, and went on to fight for women's rights, demanding votes for women and free all women from control of men. Labour at the mill was hazardous and dirty, and he lost a finger working near machines. But she knew that she was bright, and he studied hard at night and encouraged study amongst her fellow teens. You remember Annie Kenny, an Oldham lass who worked in the mill from the age of 10, and went on to fight for women's rights, demanding votes for women and free all women from control of men.
The women's suffrage movement beckoned Annie. She with a colleague echoed Winston Churchill's speech. Our banner was rolled out, votes for women shouted out. They were jailed, it was the lesson men would teach.
You remember Annie Kelly, an Oldham lass who worked in the mill from the age of 10, and went on to fight for women's rights, demanding votes for women and free all women from control of men. 13 times in jail was brave young Annie. She went on hunger strike and was force-fed for her cause. When first women's votes were seen in the year 1918, Annie played her part and earned our full applause. You remember Annie Kelly, an Oldham lass who worked in the mills from the age of 10, and went on to fight for women's rights, demanding votes for women and free all women from control of men, and free all women from control of men.
We're going to do Mosley Corporation Pop now. We're going to sing Mosley Corporation Pop, which is our only song from Mosley.
You live there, don't you?
I do live there now, yeah, right on the border. This is... John's going to tune up, so I'll keep talking. It's in C, we're in C. This was initiated when a relative of mine, it was my daughter actually, who I handed a Mosley Corporation Pop, and she didn't know what I was talking about. She didn't realise it was a glass of water. So here we go. Mosley Corporation Pops, the common people's tipple. You can splash it round your sweaty head or rub it round your middle. Better get it down, it'll do you good, it's refreshing, that's a fact. It'll clean out all your innards and your urinary tract. Mosley Corporation Pup's been through the peat and grit, so when it comes out from the source it's rid of all the bits. It's won all the competitions right from Blackpool down to Hyde. Its clarity and softness I proclaim the whole world while I'm singing Mosley Corporation Pops, the common people's tipple. You can splash it round your sweaty head or rub it round your middle. Better get it down, it'll do you good, it's refreshing, that's a fact. It'll clean out all your innards and your urinary tract. On a ramble up round Artshead Pike on a sunny day in May, quite lost and very thirsty for a drink we couldn't pay. We asked a man from Mosley, is this bottom or is it top? And can you tell us, Cock, where we can find a Mosley Pop stop cock? Mosley Corporation Pops, the common people's tipple. You can splash it round your sweaty head or rub it round your middle. Better get it down, it'll do you good, it's refreshing, that's a fact. It'll clean out all your innards and your urinary tract. So if you're feeling poorly or just getting short of breath, it's Mosley Corporation Pop could keep you from your death. It's sucked by everyone in Mosley, whatever race or creed, the fathers and forefathers too. God bless all them that's dear.
With holy water,
Mosley Corporation Pops,
the common people's tipple. You can splash it round your sweaty head or rub it round your middle. Better get it down, it'll do you good, it's refreshing, that's a fact. It'll clean out all your innards and your urinary tract. It'll clean out all your innards and your urinary tract.
I'm a doctor. Drink more water. Now that ending, we didn't used to do that ending, but we were singing his settle, and a lady from the back shouted that out. So we presume she was a doctor. Just going to do a quick changeover, and we'll be back in a second. This is a song about the Spanish Civil War. 10 Oldham men went to fight in Spain, and some of them came back and some of them didn't, and this is the story.
No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man.
In 1936, 10 men from Oldham to Spain up sticks, to share a true cause to keep Spain free and strike a blow for democracy.
No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. Mechanics, workers in the mills, repairing boots, riding bikes for thrills. These young men left their Oldham trades to join the famous 15th Brigade. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man.
Of these 10 Oldhamers, 6 were slain in Spanish places with strange sounding names: Erama, Elchite and Trewell, at Brunete, the Agendes as well.
No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. It's often said that the good side lost. They fought the fight and they paid the cost. Let's not forget these 10 Oldham men who lost their lives or who came home again. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, these words they ran from the lips of each Oldham man. No passerán, no passerán, no passerán.
Right. Now a change of tone. Oh, you're changing? Yeah. So a small change of instruments first. This is a song we've been singing for many years, about a ferret, John Willis ferret. Larry wrote this song, my brother who died in 2015, one of the members of the Tinkers, and when he met a gamekeeper up in the Lake District, Hawkshead, and he told him that he'd taken a ferret to a do, and I added a tune, and some of the tunes traditional.
Right.
This is it.
That's it.
And John's going to sing it.
And the do was at a town hall. We can't tell you the name of the town hall, but it is in Oldham.
Right.
I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. He slipped his lead with some butter from the sauce, he patterned all the table with his dirty little paws. Oh, said the vicar's wife, this rabbit isn't dead, as he danced a little jig around the hat upon her head. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. He ran down her collar and down the front he tore, he wriggled down her knicker leg and danced across the floor. Hey up, said the vicar, that's a sewer rat, I'm sure. Well, if that's the case, his wife replied, I wish we had some more. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. He ran through the soup and he nibbled at the peas, he dribbled all the gravy down the mare's knocking knees, and then he quenched his thirst with half a pint of shandy, and then relieved his little self in Mrs. Briley's brandy. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. Well, the ladies left their tables and began to dance with fright. They shouted out in panic at the little ferret's sight. He nibbled at their stockings and he tickled all their knees, and the vicar's wife kept shouting, give me some of that, please. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. He ran up and down the curtains and he swam about the punch, he herded all the ladies in a corner in a bunch, and just to end the escapade he did a little quickie. He ran up the speaker's dinner suit and nibbled at his collar. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do. Well, they caught the little fella and they put him in a box. They give him anaesthetic from the vicar's woolly socks. They sang him Annie Laurie in the mayor's own car, and then they got him back as fast as hell to John Willy's pen. Oh, I was there, so were you, the mayor and the vicar, all the council too, with the wives and ladies on full view, the night John Willy took his ferret to a do.
Thanks very much, chaps. So, where can people find your stuff online?
They can find it on Bandcamp, and they can
OldhamTinkers.com.
find it
www.oldhamtinkers.com.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, chaps.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to episode 49 of the Kicking Back podcast. You've just heard a delightful performance from our guests today, the Oldham Tinkers. Thank you very much for that, chaps.
There you go.
Enjoyed it.
Very enjoyable. I've been wanting to get you guys on since I heard this album, and very excited that you guys are here. And we've had a lovely chat thus far. It's been very good.
Sure.
So I wanted to go through the 4 tracks that you performed for us. And do you want to just tell us a little bit about each one, what they're about, and all that sort of thing?
Annie Kenny, the story of Annie Kenny. There was a statue of Annie Kenny, which was put up in 2018, at the end of 2018 in Oldham by Denise Dutton. I think I mentioned that before. And it was unveiled by Maxim Peake. There's a nice crowd turned up in Oldham. Me and John turned up, and by that time I'd seen the fuss that was being made about Annie Kenny, quite rightly. I knew about Annie Kenny. I think we all knew the name, but didn't know an awful lot. And then I thought I would write this song to her. Me and John turned up. We learned it and sang it on the steps with the great granddaughter of Annie Kenny up to be there.
Oh, nice.
And we had a chat with her. It was lovely. So also in Oldham at Leesbrook, there's a plaque on a wall at Leesbrook Mill, which is still there.
Yeah.
Which was built in 1879, round about then. When she went there, although there's others who say she worked at the Wood End Mill in Lees as a young girl, doing a half-time and then full-time work in the mill. But she became a suffragette and worked with the suffragettes and did a lot of work for votes for women. And
Cool.
that was Annie Kenny. She was from a very poor background.
Yeah.
And, certainly helped to put places like Oldham on the map.
Lovely. So the second track you performed.
Second track was Lighter. That was Mosley Corporation pop.
I do love that track.
Right,
brilliant.
yeah. And that was just a light-hearted. There are 2 things. We sung at... John.
Settle.
No, before that.
Oh,
When Stockport.
Yeah.
We were in Stockport, and a chap came up to us and said, "Would you sing the Mosley Mashers?" Well, we'd always sung the Rochdale Mashers.
Right.
So I said,
what is a masher?
Yeah, what's it? Yeah.
What is the masher?
Well, it
What's
was
a masher?
dressed-up gentleman, toffs,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Rochdale Mashers
I
are
didn't know.
Based on an Irish-
very famous.
I think about
Based on an Irish
yeah.
song called The Brothers
Yeah, it's
Malone.
not a common term these
Yeah,
days,
no,
is it?
mashers, no, it's
Masher. And he said, so we had to change all the Rochdales, didn't we,
Yeah, we did.
to Mosley and think of a street in Mosley rather than Rochdale. But we did it for him. He said he missed Mosley. I thought he lived in Australia, but he lived in Stockport, all that way from, and he said he really missed it. So with that chap in mind, I think, well, we'll do another song from Mosley. We do actually sing one on a record about the Mosley lads, but that's an old rugby team from Mosley.
Oh, right.
Nobody
okay.
have ever heard of a rugby team in Mosley. Now it's all football.
Yeah.
But so there was that, and then my daughter, who didn't know what Corporation Pop was.
But you don't, do you? Really?
I have actually
You
heard
have?
of Corporation
right,
Pop,
Corporation.
so
I know,
I've got
obviously.
that one.
My
Yes.
parents used to
Salford Corporation Pop.
Corporation.
We could have used
Beautiful.
Oldham, I suppose.
All pounds
So that was it. So 3 verses and about Mosley. And of course, you have a conversation in Mosley. Is it top Mosley or bottom Mosley? That's the first thing people seem to talk about,
Okay.
And so I had to bring that in. Outside Pike's a nice area where people go up for a walk.
Right,
yeah. It's a good viewing point. There's a tower there. So that was it, really.
When you sang it at Settle, you were saying...
Oh, that's right. We sang at Settle.
Settle Victoria
Settle.
Hall, yeah.
And that lady, at the end of that song, shouted out,
I'm a doctor.
I'm a doctor. Drink
Drink
more
more
water.
water.
I don't know who put that on the CD. Did we?
I think you did, actually.
Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to sing that now.
I like that at the end.
Yeah.
It was good. Good
So-
touch.
And here
Here we
this
are.
is
We're all
Salford
Corporation.
Corporation.
That was like I was showing my missus your guys' stuff, and that was the first track I played to them, just to like warm her into it.
Oh,
She absolutely loved it.
Did she like that?
She was laughing. It was-
Right,
it was
yeah.
funny,
My
yeah.
wife likes that one. She
Yeah.
always likes all the lighter ones.
Mm.
Yeah.
Next one was 10 Oldham Men,
Yes.
No Passaran. I remember reading an article in the Oldham paper about these when it was the Oldham Chronicle, which is, I think it's online now, the Oldham Chronicle, about these fellas who'd gone to fight in the Civil War in Oldham, and there was an exhibition in the Oldham Gallery. But
Yes,
I didn't get round to it at the time. I think it was, when you're working. We're retired now.
Yeah.
We're retired, but when we're working, you don't get out the same, do you? It was all work, and I missed it. And then as time went on, I thought I must find out the details of it, and I don't know what prompted me. So I went to the library and got as much out as I could, and then I was reading about these 10 lads who went to Spain in 1936 and fought for this cause. And 6 of them died and 4 came back.
Mm.
And one of them was very famous.
One of them was very famous. He was called Clem Beckett, and he was a motorcycle. He started off as a blacksmith
Okay.
at Glodwick, and he became a motorcyclist and a international fame eventually as a champion and a daredevil rider.
Yeah,
Oh,
Speedway rider. as
Speedway
well.
rider, that
And
kind
ran
of
the
thing.
Wall of Death. And
Yeah, so he was one of
Okay, right.
them. Now he died at Karama,
Right.
and 6 of them died and 4 came back. So there's a story there really, and that was the story.
And what does it mean that a passer?
Oh, no passaran. No
passaran.
passaran was a slogan that was used. It wasn't the first group of people have used that slogan. It comes from the past somewhere, but they adopted that. The Republican side, all the people who went, not just from Oldham, but from all the cities and towns in England, they went to join the International Brigade.
Right.
And that was a slogan that was used, no passaran, they shall not pass, which is tantamount to saying they won't win. And, of course, Franco and the Phalangists won the war, and Franco stayed in power till he died.
Right.
But that was a forerunner for the Second World War because they were backed by Germany.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
And Hitler, the fascists were.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But I mean, I'm not a historian, and I don't know. I know there were bad deeds on both sides,
Yeah.
and the war's a terrible thing, particularly Civil War. But
Yeah.
that was the Oldham connection with it.
right. I see.
Those lads.
And then track 4 was one that
Track
wasn't on the
4,
album, right?
Yeah, that was the one that was prompted by Larry when we went to play at Theatre in the Forest.
That's right.
They had said previous years you can
stay overnight.
stay overnight, and we we slept on the stage.
Well,
Not very
no,
comfortable.
They said do 2 nights.
Oh, yeah, 2 nights,
Don't
that's
come
right.
up for 1, come up for 2. Oh,
Yeah,
true.
that's right, and slept on the stage.
2
So it
nights.
wasn't very comfortable. It was very cold and hard floor.
On the stage.
Yeah. So they put us up with the gamekeeper the year after.
Yeah.
And Larry took a walk with the gamekeeper early in the morning and his dogs, and he was telling him how we took a spirit to a do. So Larry penned that.
sounds-
Right.
And then, I was saying I put the tune to it.
Yeah,
and adapted a tune, Still Upon d'Avignon. And that was that one. So that was and we've sung that for ages, haven't we, John?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's, yeah.
A lot. And John Willy songs grew, didn't they?
Yeah, and we used to sing a lot of other John Willy songs as well.
Okay.
John Willy's Ferret,
John Willie's horse.
John Willy's Newt.
There's a theme here.
Yeah, and I've written another one which we haven't recorded.
Camel.
John Willy's
That's
Camel.
class, that.
And it needs speeding up, I think.
Okay.
I'm glad we didn't record it. It could have gone on there, but it would have been a bit slow, I think. It needs just.
Come to my place. We'll do it
They're not
again.
all
Yeah,
that.
we need to do it again
They're
with
not all
one or
that
two of
fast
us.
camels, are they?
No,
No.
yeah, yeah,
Unless something's chasing them.
yeah. And there's stories with all these
Yeah,
things.
it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. One thing I want to say. When I've been playing with the Tinkers for a long time now, and a lot of the time I tend to just play, and I'm half listening to the words, and I'm half not because I'm more into playing. And it's funny when I came to actually record the album, and I was listening in detail to all the words, and I had to do edits and stuff like that. I was staggered how good the songs were. I'm only saying this to you now. You've probably never said it, but
Nice of you
songs
to
that
say
have passed
so,
a bit
Dave.
over my head sometime.
Yeah.
I thought these are bloody classic songs. The words are terrific. Whether it's you or Larry wrote them. So well done you two. And I'm proud to be part of it.
So it's yet to come out, the camel.
The Camel, yeah.
That's the next one. But we're not waiting another 40
No,
odd
no,
years
no.
for it.
So, obviously, 3 of those tracks were on the new album. Let's pull up the artwork for people to
yeah.
have a look at.
Yeah.
So, the artwork was done by a chap named Peter Stanaway.
Just done away.
For people at home, you can see
Yeah.
that delightful artwork,
Yeah.
a Lancashire Grace.
Yeah.
Is
And
the background? Is that Oldham in the background?
No,
Supposedly?
that's Mosley
That's-
Canal.
Oh, I see.
That's
right, yes.
Mosley
All right,
Canal.
Yeah.
So this is Mosley Canal. And,
Yeah.
for the audio listeners, how do we describe this artwork? It's kind of like blue painted, as abstract kind
Abstract,
of
yeah.
shaped thing. I think if
It
you're an audio
reminds
listener,
me of Picasso,
Yeah,
but
Picasso.
yeah.
I thought that.
Peter doesn't like.
Comparison.
That
He doesn't
connection.
like being compared
No.
with him because he says it's unique, and if anything, it's influenced by other people. But that's how I think. I mean, those colours are
Yeah.
very bright and outstanding. I think it's terrific. But he didn't get credited on the CD.
right? Okay,
His name wasn't in it. It's on. If you go to Bandcamp,
it's on there. is
it's on that one.
right.
But
Okay.
on the CD, his name didn't appear. It was a mistake, I think, by the printers because we put it forward. So we were very, very disappointed. Although Peter said not to worry because people will say, "Well, who did the artwork?" And they do.
Oh, yes,
they
yes.
do.
Right.
Or they'll
yeah.
recognise his
Yeah,
style,
yeah.
which they do. So it's a terrific cover.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really really
And
nice.
inside, we can't see it here.
Oh yeah, we've got
this-
the inside slip.
That inside slip, that's probably one of the few pictures of the 4 of us on a
That's
on
right,
a
yeah, 'cause
CD
there was a time when the
or an
just
LP,
4 of us playing. Yeah.
and Larry's on it, and
Yeah.
Dave, and me, and John. In
So
typically,
is that taken from a photograph?
no, that
I'm
is
just wondering.
that is Pete Stanaway's
That's how he sees
creation.
you. That's how he sees you,
Oh,
Dave.
sorry,
Oh, no, I'm just
Showing.
wondering where you...
You probably can't pick that up on the.
I think if
On
you
there.
people want to see what that image looks like, you're going to have to buy the
Buy it.
physical
Yeah.
album,
Alright.
obviously.
And you can buy it at Bandcamp
yes.
online, or you could buy it from.
Tinker's website.
Come on, John.
OldhamTinkers.com.
There you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful plug there, chaps. And this is for the people at home. This is Peter Stanaway's other
Peter's
artwork.
other
here.
artwork, and
Which
there's
is
plenty
lovely.
on Google. And
So did he approach you to do the artwork, or did you
no,
approach him? or-
no. We approached him.
Right.
That I have that at home on my wall. He gave me that painting ages
There's
ago.
John Willie's horse.
Oh,
Yeah, that could be John Willis.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's named it. And Peter has always said that he uses our titles like John Willis Horse and, gets inspiration from some of the stories.
Mm.
He's a good friend of ours, but he is of, international acclaim, really. And
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a brilliant painter.
It's beautiful. It was really,
Yeah.
really nice artwork.
So,
I like it a
yeah,
lot.
and it's distinct, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely
know.
stands out. It's
Yeah.
lovely.
And when you see that, I think that when you see that cover, it does stand out. Just stand out. It's outstanding.
It definitely feels like it looks how it sounds to me, if you know what I
Right.
mean. Like it feels
Yes.
like very
It's a good match.
cohesive. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
You got to have your glasses on to read who it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's a
Yeah.
bit small
When
at
I
the
first
bottom.
saw it, I thought,
Yeah. And the same with our name. Our name, you have to search for
yeah.
that, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it is on there. I can imagine somebody picking that up and not realising
Yeah.
it's us. So it's pretty small, isn't it?
It's very small in the corner.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
quite
we're
nice.
gradually fading away.
yeah.
That's what it is.
So thanks to Peter.
Yeah,
Peter
brilliant.
Stanaway.
Brilliant artwork. I might actually try and get him on the podcast
Oh,
if he's.
Yeah.
I quite like talking to
Good idea.
different
All right.
Oh, he-
culture books and stuff. So
he
it'd
would
be
very
good. So let's go.
interesting.
Let's go through the album. I'm going to pick out a few of my favourite
Right.
tracks of here. I'd like to just know a bit about them.
Okay.
And obviously, the opening track is
Yeah.
Alfin.
The opening track. And can I say, but I
Yeah,
mean,
go
if I don't say what's on, all the background to the songs are on here in the
Oh,
notes.
on the. Oh,
And
right. Okay.
I've done the notes, haven't I?
Yep.
But I always send them to John for approval.
Can I just have a look?
Yeah.
So is this? So it's
But I'm not
about.
credited either.
Okay, so this takes you
But I
through.
didn't mind because if there are any mistakes, people can't say, "Oh well."
He was a teacher, wasn't he? All your kids will be after you, won't he?
I don't remember.
So Alfin,
Alfin, first of all, Alfin is. I live near Alfin.
right? Okay.
Alfin, I can walk across the road,
Mm.
and I'm in the countryside and up to Alfin. And I can't remember. Is it 1,500 feet? It's a lovely. It's one of those things like, what shall we do today? You know, should we go up Alfin?
Right. Okay.
And you can walk up Alfin, and you have a 360-degree view at the top, and you can see obviously Yorkshire and Lancashire, but you can, you know, it's at there's Cheshire and Derbyshire there that can be seen,
Right. Okay.
and it's a magnificent view, and the story, you know, some background to Alfin is in the notes. It's a lovely walk. It's a nice climb. We have a friend of ours, Larry Casty, who died some years ago, and he had his ashes.
He used
strewn
to
on Alfin.
He used to arrange some concerts for us at the Free Trade Hall in Manchester.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, and he used to run those.
He loved walking, you know.
Yeah.
And he loved to drink, and he loved.
And he liked to drink.
Yeah, and he loved he liked the Oldham Tinkers.
But so Alfin is, in fact, I think it's in Greenfield. You know, so I live right on the border.
Right.
Mosley and Greenfield. Greenfield is now in the Oldham Borough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, part of our garden is in Oldham, and then the other bits in Mosley. That's just how it is.
Brilliant. I have to go and do that walk. It sounds
Yeah, you have
delightful.
to do. Yeah.
That was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great opening
Yeah.
track because it drew me in straight away.
Right.
And then I was in them once I was listening. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I understand what I'm getting into here. And
Yeah.
It's a really lovely tune.
Yeah.
Really, really like it. Mrs. Pete.
Mrs. Pete, over to John.
That's you, John, isn't it?
Yes. Over the years, well, there was a poet called Cliff Gerard,
Right.
who we fell in love with his poetry. He didn't write a lot of stuff, and he used to invite us to concerts and in clubs. From St Helens, he wasn't he? St Helens man.
Rainford. He was
Rainford.
born.
Oh,
was
right.
brought up.
Rainford, St Helens, yeah. And so over the years, we just started putting odd tracks of his poems on the CDs.
Always with his permission, of course.
Yeah, of course. And he was thrilled. And
He died. Was it 2000? Around about 2000.
yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
Cliff.
was.
Magnificent dialect poet. He wrote for Coronation Street
Oh,
a
he
little
did.
bit.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And he got Albert Tatlock did one of his poems, I think. Yeah, to Sarah.
Yeah.
So all over the years on all our albums, we included a Cliff Gerard poem,
Yeah.
and there's two on this particular the other one.
Oh, what's the other one?
Is it spelled correctly? Garden where the potatoes grow is the background.
What's the poem called?
It's called Jemmy's Garden.
Jemmy's Garden.
G-E-M-M-Y, Jemmy.
Jemmy's Garden, yeah.
And the tune is Garden where the potatoes grow.
Right, okay.
And Mrs.
Irish
Pete
tune.
is, what tune did you use for that?
Oh, that is a tune I use for a hymn, The Lord's My Shepherd. And I wrote a different version to it.
Okay,
The
right.
Lord, that's the main one, isn't it? Anyway, the tune that I use is different, and I was just playing it a little bit, and I remember you saying, "Oh, that'd be a nice tune to put in the background," but we had difficult. I had to sing the hymn to Dave, to tell him what the tune was.
Going to play it on the mandolin,
so he could play it.
Right. Okay.
So I was singing it, and then we played it, because at first he just played what I was playing. He's so quick to pick everything up. If I play a wrong chord, he tells, he knows. I don't
then he got
get
on the phone
away
saying,
with
"No, you're
it.
playing it wrong, Dave."
And then I was playing the harmony to my
That's
singing,
right, that's what he was
and
doing,
he was playing the harmony. I said, "No, I want the tune." So I had to sing him this hymn. I won't sing it. And then we were right, but we didn't use it. We didn't use the hymn.
Right.
Passed all his tapes over to John Ellis and John.
Yeah, but I think John Ellis has left the
Yeah.
on his mix, because the mix I did, it wasn't on his.
I know. And when he opened up, he's left it on. He'd left the hymn on,
Which is
so
only a
it
guide
starts
track, really.
with a verse of a hymn, which
It
is
sounds all
appropriate
right.
in a way.
Just
I liked it. though,
It's
like,
appropriate.
Yeah, so
because,
the 1920s.
I mean,
Right, okay.
because of this lady who she was doing such a service for people,
Oh, yeah.
unpaid service, in that time when there was no national anthem. Somehow it fitted in.
Yeah.
It fitted in, and the sentiment of the Lord's my shepherd. I know some people aren't religious, but I mean, if there is one hymn that that goes back to David. David is supposed to. That's his psalm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
From the Old Testament.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I'm right saying this. I'm not making it up.
I'll believe you.
Yeah. So there we are. That's
Mrs. Pete.
That's
Mrs. Pete.
And John was a nurse. John was a nurse, weren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't know that.
For years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I did a bit of that.
Right.
SRN, RMN.
Right.
Oh, and then I went into teaching in nursing, in psychiatry.
Oh, okay. Right.
Because we were all asked what our favourite thing was on the CD.
Right.
And when we're doing an interview for
Oh, yeah, for Folk Northwest. Where's the
Northwest.
Give me the wide camera. So these chaps have just been featured on the front cover of Folk
That's right,
Northwest.
for Pete Stanaway's.
So where can people get this if they wanted to get a hold of it? It's a
Online.
subscription and thing as well.
Folk Northwest online, yeah.
It's online as well, so you can check that out.
magazine.
There's an interview in there, and there's also
Steve Henderson.
yes, and there's an album review as well, which is well worth the read if you
Yeah.
want to see
Got
what's
details
around.
of all folk clubs and concerts. It's well
Yes,
worth buying.
all the listings and stuff. I've just been introduced to it, and it looks lovely.
It is good.
I was going to ask, I don't know which track it is. It's the one where it's the Assam Ala Laikum. Which tune is that? Is that Peace Be Upon You?
That's Peace Be
Yes.
Upon You. Yeah.
How did that one come about?
I suppose we always sang a song, Oldham's Burning Sands, which is basically was taught to us by Laurie Cassidy and a mate of his, Francis Connor, way back, and they used to hear this in Oldham,
Right.
and the bones of that they passed on to us, and I added some. I'd heard a lad from Pakistan once sing something. I was on a work camp with a Turk,
Right.
who somehow another bit in my head, and something else. And I mixed all those up and used to sing this, didn't I?
You did, yeah.
As an introduction. It's silly, gibberish introduction. It's very rhythmic. And then there's all this thing about harems and all this kind of thing in it. And I don't think you'd write something like that today. You'd be crossing too many boundaries. I began to feel a little bit uncomfortable. I thought, well, we need to do something a bit more up to date. And we have a song called Moonlight Thee. I thought, well, we'll have a modern version of Moonlight Thee, which is, we're pleased to see you no matter where you're from. It doesn't matter where you're from. The main thing is that we welcome people.
Yeah.
And that's where that came from. So it tells you about immigration to Oldham, although, I mean, it could be immigration to many, many other places, and all the immigrants we have in Oldham. So it mentions them. And more or less says, we're all Oldhamers now. You're telling Oldham how nice. Oldham has a reputation for being, very friendly place. And the people are friendly. Larry used to say if he didn't live in Oldham, he'd like to live in Wigan.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
But because that's another friendly place.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and that's the sentiment of that. And I used the greeting, the Arabic greeting, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, as our chorus.
It works, man.
And,
it's a beautiful song. It really stuck out to me. I was like, this is, I don't know, there's something about it. It was,
and we sung that a long time ago on the radio, didn't we, for Andy Kershaw?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember some people having heard it and saying they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's great. This album, people at home, if you haven't listened to it already, please do go and listen to it, because it is, well, I said it before and I'll say it again, it's one of my favourite albums that I've listened to this year. It's great. And you're saying there's originally 20 songs and then John Ellis whittled down.
21, I think it was 21. Including the poem Lancashire Grace.
Right, yeah.
And there's one or two that I think should have been kept on, but it's...
Well,
it ran to about 65 minutes originally, and we thought that was a tad long. But
okay.
There's one particular one which, because I love steam trains. I'm big into steam trains. I live in Bury now.
Right.
And I can see the steam trains on the East Lancs Railway running past my back garden, which is great. And Gerry wanted to do a song called the 435, which is the train he used to go home from school on from Manchester, Victoria, to Oldham.
So that's from here, from Salford.
Yes, from Salford, that's right.
Then the green buses from Salford.
So we recorded it, and it's a great song. And I said, I'll put some train sound effects on it. So I dug out these fantastic, going right across the stereo image, across the picture. And I thought it was a real classic, but unfortunately it's not made the final.
Is it? No. So
we're going to have a volume 2.
The beginnings of something, yeah. Yeah, and I always wanted to write a song about the Seven Hills of Oldham. A serious song about the seven that they used to talk about. But I could never somehow decide which seven hills to choose and this kind of thing. So I finished up writing 3 old jokes strung together with an Italian type chorus, which I can't sing now. All the Italian, all the hills in Italian.
Oh, that's
and strung these 3 old jokes together. So I'm called it the Several Hills of Oldham. Count as many as you like. So
that's yet to come.
That's yet to come.
We should do that.
We sung that the night at Grange, which was just before the lockdown.
That's right. The last.
That was the the last.
Right.
Okay. We sung that song, the Several Hills of Oldham. So we've got the beginnings of a new album. Sure. We'll have to get working.
So what is, have you got anything in the pipeline? What's the plan next?
No, not really. Carry on living.
The trouble is, as fast as you book a tour or a gig, it's getting cancelled.
I know.
There's a girl coming over from America called Sierra Hull, fantastic mandolin player, and I got tickets for this next week. And I just got notice that it's cancelled because she's not only playing England, she's playing Germany and everywhere as well. Because it's too risky, so. I don't think we're quite in that league, but we're playing locally. But even so, people are, not risking it.
Okay,
It's a pity.
it is a pity. It's a difficult time that
Yeah,
we're in,
sure.
isn't it?
But it's nice to know that younger people are interested.
I think people are going to really like this one. I think
Yeah.
when this episode comes out, and you know,
that's good.
because it isn't. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to get you in, because it isn't on it's not on Spotify or anything. People, you have to go and get it on Bandcamp, and pay
Yeah.
these people some money. Be nice to them. So, but I just thought I'd get you guys on because I think this is a class act, and I want people to hear it.
Thanks very much. Nice of you to say that.
I think we'll wrap it up there,
Yeah.
chaps.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure to have you all on. I should have prepped you for this question before, and I didn't. So we'll do it, and we'll see what happens. It's not difficult. So every episode, I ask the guests, if you could sum this podcast up in 3 words, what would it be? I mean, this podcast specifically that we've just done. I can give you an example one, if you want, and then it can be. It's no pressure. It's cool.
Well, I was just going to say one.
Well, go on. If you've got one, Jerry, go 3 words.
Bloody good show.
Bloody good show. Absolute belter. So one more time, chaps, where can people find the album or your other stuff? Where do people need to have a look?
They can
online?
find it on our website, which is www.oldhamtinkers.com.
Beautiful.
On sale there. And
They can find it on the Bandcamp
Bandcamp.
website, and it leads you to the sales. You go to the Oldham Tinkers then, and then it will lead you to sales.
And there's all the other albums on there as well, isn't there? I think?
no,
There's
on
a-
the
the
Tinkers
Oldham
side.
Tinkers one,
there is on
there
there.
is.
Okay.
But on the Bandcamp, it's whatever our new one's called. That Lancashire Grace.
The album we've been talking about for the past half an hour. Yeah, that one.
All the other albums were our early albums with Topic Records.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And of course, you're now on Limefield with John
Limefield
Ellis.
with
And
John Ellis.
yes, so go and check out Limefield as well. We're on this camp, we're over here. Go and check out Limefield as well, because John Ellis is doing some great work over there. It's been a pleasure, chaps. Thank you very much.
Excellent.
I look forward to seeing what you guys do next. And if you are doing a gig or anything, let me know, because I'd love to come and check it out.
Certainly
Excellent.
will. Thanks very much.
It's okay. I hope you people at home have enjoyed the episode. These guys' performance will be out later in the week. If you want to check out their stuff, go to their website, oldhamtinkers.com. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're on all good podcasting apps. We're putting out new music every week with different artists, so please go and check that out. Thank you once again to the Oldham Tinkers, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.